How's it going, everybody? Henry here. This is the long-awaited update on Anchor. Can you still make money podcasting on Anchor? That's the question that seems like a lot of you are asking, and so I'm happy to break that down. It's been a while since I've recorded a video. Most of my time still goes to my podcast because that's my main thing. And there were some updates that I wanted to share with you on it, and they weren't working consistently on the site. So I have it working now so I can show you it. It's gonna be a lot of stuff covered on this, so kind of stay tuned, but I'm just gonna kind of talk to you as if I was talking to someone else that wanted to know what is going on with Anchor, can you still make money, and how everything looks. So I'm gonna go ahead and just fill my screen with my phone because my computer's still acting weird, but let's check it out. All right, so just to keep things simple, I'm right here on the Money tab. So I use Anchor. Let's see if you can see the Anchor by Spotify. It's a free podcasting website. So if you're not familiar with it, you can check it out. It's anchor.fm. It's completely free and you can upload it. So just to show you that where money is or what's going on. So this one right here, Stripe, this is from a HostRed ad. So the only HostRed ad I'm familiar with and I've seen other people have is really just being an ambassador for Anchor. So that's an Anchor ad that basically promotes the use of Anchor that you can put in your show, and that's the pay from that. The second line, Spotify payouts, that is actually from automated ads. So automated ads, it says right here, it's very simple. They're 30-second ads, and these are like legitimate ads. So this is gonna be something like a Chevy commercial or a certain coffee or something like that. So it's a real brand, real ad. It's auto put into there, which I'll show you what that looks like here in a second, but it pays $13 per thousand on Spotify and $10 per thousand on all other platforms. So definitely good. It is bringing in some money. So we're going to talk about how much money that's actually bringing. I know that looks like a lot, but that is more than a month. That's like 2 months worth, which again, it looks like a lot, but if you've been following, I was making a lot more prior to that. So I wanted to show you Spotify payouts and how it works. So Spotify payouts, we're going to swing over here to, let's see here. I think it's this one. Yep. So this is the ads page. So if you actually are on the main page of Anchor and you click on ads right here, and I'm not going to actually click it because this page goes down a ton. So I have it up. So we just want to keep it. This is your impressions that ads actually played on. So the 0 doesn't mean I didn't have any plays. It just means the ad didn't play at all those 2 days. But so you can see the impressions, you can see it goes up and down, depending on the day. We had a big spike here, which I'll talk about why that happened and how you can get a spike like that. And then we're back down. This site has been down for like 2 or 3 days. So I'm hoping that this isn't an actual 0 and that it'll register higher again once it gets the numbers. But it could be a 0, like it happened there before. You can see down here, this is estimated earnings. So this is like what you're making. So when I drop down to 0, I didn't make anything those days and it didn't show anything, as you can see there, but then you can see the money as it goes. Now, how many listens per day I'm getting to get, I guess it doesn't matter, it's the impressions, right? So like to get 9,700 impressions, that means 9,700 people listened to the podcast that had an impression. So more people listened, but it doesn't play on every single episode, unfortunately. It'd be great if it did. So when 9,700 people listened, I made $108 from that. So that's kind of how that works with there. So what happened was, and this is what a lot of people are dealing with. So let's go back over the money, is this HostRed ad. This actually ran out for me. That's why you saw the spike on this one. It ran out like right in here. So I turned it off. It didn't expire. It just wasn't paying out anymore. So I messaged technical support. They weren't really helpful. It seemed like they were confused on what was going on. So I just deactivated it because I didn't want that ad playing for thousands of people every day and not get paid for it. So I turned it off. And the good thing is that the automated ads actually filled in a little bit. Now, this difference between, 7,000 and 2,000, it's not quite the same as if I had the other ads. The other ad's still better. But at least I know that when the site eventually runs out of this ambassador ad, that that will still be there. And so that kind of breaks down how that works. Now the bad thing is, and let me just pull up here, this is where I track my money here. So we go to totals. You can see that here's the total. So don't worry about the coaching, that's separate. That's people that come directly from my podcast. I do coaching outside of that too, and referrals. I don't count that in here. So these are people that initially messaged me from podcasting that I keep in here. But if you look at these numbers right here, this is the one you want to focus on, because that's the ads by Anchor. So you can see, it's climbing. Great month in July. Then we go down a little bit in August. And the way July was higher was because I think the way the Fridays broke up on how I paid myself out went down. And then you see it start going down. And October dropped a ton there. That's when this main ad actually ended the first time. So if I go over here to ended, you can see I had the Anchor. This was the big one for me. Now it says it was only $300 made on it, but you could go back to some of my early episodes, and this one paid out almost $40,000, for how long I had it for. So I don't know why it says that, but I guess it doesn't really matter. So this one's still active. When it goes ended, like when it goes here, I don't think there's anything you can do. You could email Anchor. That's what I did. Actually, no, I didn't email them. I messaged them through Twitter, and they did respond. They didn't do anything there, but then within 24 hours, there was a new ad available. So they told me there was nothing they could do, but it popped up and there was another ad available. So that could just be luck. It could be, maybe because of the size of my show. I don't really know why. It came back. I didn't ask any questions. I just re-recorded it, put it back on, and it's worked intermittently. So it's not as good as it used to be. It does turn off now, apparently, and it'll stay on. It'll still play. It just won't pay. Which can be aggravating. So you have to pay attention to that. If you see that it's not paying and it's still on, you might want to turn it off and then turn it back on. That's what I did. And so if you want to know how to do that, I'll show you. So if you ever want to turn one off, you go over here and you click those, and you can just remove sponsorship. It doesn't delete it. It just moves it over here to ignored, and then you can reactivate it from there. So let's talk about Spotify payouts. So this is the new one. This is the one right here. And I want to show you how much I've made so far from that. And it's not very impressive. So in August, I got a great check from that. That one was almost $800. What was really cool about that $800 is that was from the Spotify ads. So the ones that they put on. Plus, I was getting the full amount from the Anchor ambassador ads. That was really good. And then it just toned down. Like the Anchor ads, the ambassador ad I had was still doing good in September, but the automated ads, obviously that's a whole month, $269, which is great. I definitely appreciate the money, but a huge decrease. It did go up a little bit in October. So, that's pretty good. And you can see I have $3,000 waiting to be paid out, but this is more than a month's worth. So I don't know the exact number, but my guess is it's going to be around $1,200 will be paid out, hopefully in a day. You can see it's kind of random on the days that it comes out, but looks like around the 23rd is when it looks like, and it's the 22nd right now. So I'm guessing it'll probably pay out tomorrow, since that's the 23rd, and then the 24th is Thanksgiving. So I'm assuming that's when it'll pay out. So I hope that gives you some answers on, can you still make money? And I know there wasn't probably a lot of like how to do it, how to make your podcast better in this. And I'm going to start doing more episodes on that stuff. So definitely drop your questions below on like your specific podcast and how you can make it better. I want to start doing that more. I've had a few people reach out to coaching and like how to launch a podcast. They've gone to my Instagram and messaged me there, which is the best place. Of course, you message me here, I'll get back to you, but Instagram is a great place for conversations. But if you're someone that wants to know how to grow your podcast, my story is like this. I'm going to show you where I started, where it's at right now. I've never done paid ads. I've never done ads at all. I've just, followed my voice, tried to stay true to me and do something that I felt was authentic, and then put a lot of work behind it. So let me show you kind of how this thing has grown. So this is my podcast performance. So you can see like there's this little part back here in 2018. I uploaded some content and then just did nothing. So I tried to start a YouTube channel with a friend, and basically I was porting over the audio over here, and it was just random. It was not the Positive Mindset Podcast, so it wasn't what I do today. It was kind of similar. It was positive stuff, but it was just, just some random stuff I was doing. And then I just left it alone. I got laid off in 2020, and this is when I really started kicking off. So let me see if I don't know if you can click the way they've got this set up now. Let's see here. Yeah, so you can see March 2020, I started getting a little bit more serious with it. I was actually laid off in August of 2020. So that's when I decided to do a podcast every single day. So not a lot of action going on there. You can see, not a lot of plays. And And then the growth happened. So this is when I started taking the podcast seriously. And so you can see the growth as it's gone up to, where last week was my best week and I got 79,000 downloads that week. This is lower, but that's because it updates daily. So every Thursday night is the peak. So like this was last Thursday and it's Tuesday that I'm recording this. So it's still got some time to do that. But yeah, lots of growth there. It's definitely been a journey, putting it all together, but I have all this information. I have all these, insights and tips that I want to share that I feel like would be helpful. And I was explaining to somebody, like, basically like this, like, I work in fitness because I always thought it was a good place to help people. It's a place people come, they heal, whether it's physically, mentally, spiritually, depending on the type of gym you have. And that's why I like working in gyms. And the same reason I like the podcast, it's kind of the same thing. It's like you create something that somebody can enjoy. You create something that when somebody tunes into, it's supposed to be an uplifting part of their day. Whatever, they're going on, they can look forward to that moment, whether it's 10 minutes or an hour, whether it's once a week or daily, it can make a huge impact. And so I started thinking about, and this is mainly the reason why I started this YouTube channel, is maybe I could help other people start a podcast. And of course, yeah, there's a whole business you could build on it. There's people that do this professionally. They help people make podcasts, and maybe that's the route this will go. This might turn into something that is a business. So if you are like someone that wants to launch a podcast, if you've got an idea for one, or maybe you have, and you want to know like some input, I'm going to do something that I did years ago when I wanted to get into online coaching. Is I'm going to offer some free sessions to just consult, to just give you feedback on your podcast or your idea, depending on where you're at, to see if I can be of service. And the only thing I'm going to ask is at the end, if you want to leave a tip, you can. I won't ask you on the call. I'll send you a follow-up email. If you want to, you can. And if you don't, or you're not able to, perfectly fine. I'm probably going to limit it to just one or two. So, message me on Instagram and I'll set you up with that. So if you've started a podcast or you want to, or you have an idea or whatever it is, shoot me a message and I will just give you feedback that's helped me build mine to a podcast that makes, around $4,000 a month and reaches, 80,000 people a week. And so that's the part I really like, is the reach, the community, all the things that's being built. And then of course the money, building something that you could do full-time that you love. It's truly amazing. So if that's something you're interested in, message me on Instagram. I'm only going to do probably one or two of them. So, reach out right away. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.